This is episode 3 of WeekDazed. Now, just to explain the format again, this is going to be a news show. Variety news show, if you will. Well, we're not going to take things very seriously, let's put it that way. So it's going to be not safe for work, for one. If you're at work, please wear headphones so your boss doesn't have to hear the filth and floor that we may spew during this little avenue of news. Basically, we look at some stories that we find during the week, and after a couple of days of working and kind of being in a daze, we pass them on to you. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Honcho himself, Chris Herndon.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast land.
That is actually a land. It's kind of west. It's west of the Mississippi, east of the Ural Mountains, which is pretty much...
Right, I mean, I'm speaking specifically to the people that live in that small area.
Okay. That's because, as I understand, the demographics from our stats so far show that's where everybody is listening from.
We have a large concentration of listeners from that area,
and strangely enough, that's also the highest concentration of deaf people in the United States.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we went to Hooters last night. Enjoyed some wings, some food. Watched the Cincinnati Reds. They could have done a little better, but
they gagged, basically.
Yeah, basically. I think Dusty Baker is looking more and more like Bill Cosby, or possibly a character on Sanford and Son. But other than that, we had a new waitress. Her name was Victoria. She said she had a secret. It took me 2 hours to figure out that she was making a Victoria's Secret pun. I may have been slightly distracted, though, I would say.
Yeah, she had certain attributes that weren't very secret.
No, not at all. She gave us a story about her hiring, though. And, I always thought it was rumors or, maybe lawsuits for individual places. But she told us that before she was even hired, that they made her put on the orange and white outfit, go in the bathroom, and the managers would come in and basically ogle her. And then she would get a call back after that. Now, I thought that such practices in this day and age may be frowned upon.
I think that's pretty standard, really. I mean, I'm not a...
Well, I got to say, in the job I just recently was hired into, I did not have to go through such a thing.
Oh, you didn't? No, when I got hired, I had to put on, business casual clothing and do, 360 spins in front of, my potential bosses.
Well, that's much better than what I thought you were going to say, and you had to get in the orange and white outfit and parade around. That could be Halloween, though. I mean, it's coming up, so if it's something you aspire to do, I would encourage it, and certainly we can arrange for your management to see that, I would imagine.
I'm sure they're looking forward to it.
So let's get to the news. First one up, if you haven't heard, I believe Sasquatch has been caught on camera, and we have a group that are convinced now. They are absolutely convinced, 100%, that Sasquatch is real. Sasquatch researchers released video footage on Wednesday they believe proves the existence of an animal many consider to be merely mythological. Shown at a press conference in Dallas, the video features multiple gorilla-like forms walking upright through the woods, as well as one sleeping. And that's, the sleeping one that was actually filmed in Kentucky, I believe, which is somewhat interesting. I don't know why that's particularly interesting, but we're in Kentucky. The researchers say that those caught on film, one appears to be a juvenile, I guess because he's talking back to his parents, not cleaning up after himself, not making his bed in the morning.
Sneaking cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. And another, a female adult. Realizing the skepticism of many on the subject, members of the group known as the Sasquatch Genome Project, or SGP, as they like to call themselves, emphasized that they themselves did not always believe in the existence of such an animal, but I would imagine they had probably Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and possibly the Tooth Fairy to fill that gap previously in their life.
Well, and it really, I know it's no real surprise to me that they finally, found proof. I know I have a friend, the Hendersons. They had a Sasquatch living with them for a while, actually.
What was his name?
I believe his name was Harry.
Oh, I see. It's kind of like a play on his hair, generally. Yeah,
I mean, he was pretty hairy, as were the Sasquatches.
I've been mistaken as a Sasquatch a couple of times.
Well, I can imagine maybe in the showers, someone come up behind you or something.
Right?
Yeah, possibly.
I believe actually part of the footage that they have is me at the beach, which is.
Or were you sleeping in a field in Kentucky at the time?
That may be the Kentucky footage.
Now I have to think though that the Bigfoot that was filmed in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Was probably the world-renowned Fairdale cabbage ape.
Oh, could be. It could be. That's a local reference for you in podcast land. It's kind of outside your realm, but you can Google it. You can Google it.
Oh, it's out there. Believe me. Mm-hmm. Another piece of news here. Unfortunately, today, the author Tom Clancy.
Oh no.
Yeah. Tom Clancy passed away. I will say this, though. At least he lived a life without remorse.
I would say so. For all the books he's written, I owe him a debt of honor, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree as well. I mean, it was a brief illness. Unfortunately, he succumbed to that illness, but in the last few days, he was obviously in clear and present danger of passing away.
Yeah, I would say so. It's funny that it was a brief illness because initially it was rumored that he died at the hands of a secret Russian terrorist group who snuck into the U.S. via a silent Russian submarine, only to be initially thwarted by a crack CIA agent who was double-crossed by a Chinese diplomat, which he wanted to hack the U.S. intelligence gathering mainframe, which would be relayed to a Middle Eastern terrorist organization. But then it turned out to be just a brief illness.
Yeah, I mean, how disappointing to his readers.
I know. I mean, you would expect more from Tom Clancy. Next up, we have the scientists. They're catching up with the Jedi in their understanding of light, apparently. Scientists have experimentally shown that something like lightsabers the Jedi wielded in Star Wars is not outside the realm of possibility. That is, light can behave as though it has mass. Though their work may not produce an elegant weapon for a more civilized age, it could lead to advances in quantum computing, 3D modeling, and other as-of-yet imagined applications.
Yeah, and that's pretty exciting news because, obviously it's going to tie right into the next big experiment that I saw where they're trying to actually prove the existence of midichlorians, which should be interesting to see what they come up with that.
Well, hopefully they don't force the issue a little too much. I have to say, there was some initial reactions to the experiment as that's so wizard and this is so badass. I figure if we're, working with lightsaber technology, cancer must be cured, no more AIDS. We've figured out how to stop asteroids from hitting the Earth, so we can finally focus on such things as making lightsabers.
Well, that's an important part of science, really. I mean, we know that, Google, obviously, they're already cracking, they've already found a cure for the aging process, or they're planning on it here in the next 10 years. So that was really the last frontier of science.
Well, funny enough, you know how they found that?
How?
They Googled it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, when all of the great questions of science have been answered, then it's, we can go for lightsabers.
Yeah, I'm hoping for transporter technology next because, quite honestly, I'm not a big fan of traffic, and it would certainly make things easier getting to work in the morning.
You're absolutely right. Well, here's something that's going to interest you, Vince, I have a feeling. Recently, at least this week, there have been up to 5 steamy short stories of dinosaur erotica were published by authors Christy Sims and Alara Branwin. Now, this is a pretty unappreciated area of erotica, I guess. It's basically beast porn. Some of the short stories include titles like Taken by the Pterodactyl, Taken by the T-Rex, and Taken at the Dinosaur Museum.
I saw Taken and Taken 2. I didn't see that progression coming, but obviously by those titles, it certainly sounds like those may be sequels. There might be some Liam Neeson tie-in somewhere where he goes back in time. He's quite attractive. Maybe caught the eye of a female Tyrannosaurus Rex and had a little Tyrannosaurus sex.
Yeah, and what I find most interesting about this article are the people who who wrote these dinosaur erotica tales.
Oh, so they must be twisted individuals.
They have to
describe
be.
themselves as such.
Oh yeah, I mean clearly, Sims describes herself on Amazon as a quote unquote plain old everyday Midwestern girl. So apparently, there's a lot of women out there, fantasizing about dinosaur bones.
Yes, in more ways than one, I guess. Right? Exactly. That's I didn't know that. If that's the average ordinary day girl, if I was a single guy, I'd have to go out there and change my game up a little bit. Maybe start prancing around with my arms kind of shortened.
Yeah, they like short arms.
Short arms.
Yeah.
Kind of on the haunches. Maybe throw a tail in there and some teeth. Good to go. And all of a sudden, I'm fucking with the dinosaurs. Oh, wait, it's walking with the dinosaurs, but I guess this one would be fucking with the dinosaurs.
Well, and I can't wait until this, kind of morphs into, a whole new realm of porn, kind of the dinosaur rape fantasy. So you have the, Velociraptor,
Yes.
For example. It just comes to mind.
Well, I have to wonder if maybe Steven Spielberg may see the story and say, hey, if, I want to get butts and seats, maybe we might have an interesting spin on Jurassic Park 4. I'm I'm hoping not, but it could get interesting if this catches on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Now, these authors have also had some other interesting types of erotica that they've written, and I'm not sure if these have really caught on either, but Dragon Beast erotica, interesting. Centaur erotica.
I could see that.
That could be good.
Hot.
Dudes and half dude, half horse. I mean, I think I've actually seen some of that.
Have the bronies check that out, I wonder. I mean, it seems right up their alley.
And this interesting type of erotica, and I'm not sure how this is different from the dino erotica, is dinosaur beast mating erotica. I'm not sure how that's...
that sounds more like a documentary, possibly.
It might be like some hot dinosaur on dinosaur action as opposed to dinosaur on, woman action, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting because... here's just for example. Here's a quick a little passage from one of these stories. She wasn't sure if her sudden arousal was because of her earlier thwarted climax in the cool stream, or if she was just desperate for one last pleasant sensation before being torn limb from limb by the great scaly beast. Either way, Azog relished the rasp of its tongue, hot and rough, on her sensitive skin.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's got
pretty hot.
It's got a little flow to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. What was the dinosaur had a name? Am I getting that right? Its name was Azog.
Azog. Which that's I didn't know dinosaurs had names.
I didn't either.
Well, I mean, there's